Hey guys, what's up? It's Jessie Hilgenberg. Today I'm gonna walk you through 8 stretches. All right, these stretches are gonna be so important for just your general well-being, but also so important for leg day. All right, these stretches I've designed specifically for a huge lift like a leg day, like a squat. We're gonna work on the mobility of your lats, of your thoracic spine, of your hips, of your quads, of your hamstrings, of your hip flexors, your glutes, and your ankles. So you guys can incorporate these any day. I highly recommend you make this a regular practice 2-3 times a week. If you're doing it to prep for leg day, don't do it on leg day because you'll really jeopardize your joints and your ligaments and stuff on that day. You want those nice and strong and rested for a big lift like a squat day or a leg day. So if you're gonna do these, just make sure you get them done, you get all these stretches done, or at least some of the stretches done, at least 24 hours before your leg day. But any other muscle group, anything like that, I just want you guys to make this a regular practice. It will improve your lifts and the way your body feels so much. So let's get after it. All right, stretch number 1, all you need is a bench. You can use a bench in the gym, you can use a couch at home, whatever you have. You don't need much except for this bench and your body. This is gonna stretch your lats and your whole entire back, okay? So you wanna get your elbows on the bench and then your forearms on the bench. Interlace your fingers and release your pointer fingers and slowly just move away from the bench. The goal here is to get your ears in between your biceps like that, okay? So allow your elbows to push against the bench while you try to get your butt to your heels. And as you push your elbows and forearms against the bench, you'll slowly get your head between your arms more. So you'll slowly start to get your arms back like this. And that's the stretch. So you guys don't come up like this. Make sure you keep your hips on your heels, okay? I'm on the balls of my feet and I'm just stretching my lats as much as I can while keeping my fingers interlaced up here, and that'll give you guys an amazing stretch for your entire back, but specifically your lats. You're gonna wanna hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds, okay? Let's go. Okay, next up is a piriformis stretch. The piriformis muscle is in your glute region and it assists in hip flexion and hip extension, which is so important for developing strength and size in your glutes and on leg day in general. So you're gonna take an ankle and you're gonna put it right above the opposite knee, okay? Sit up nice and tall while you're sitting on a bench or a couch, okay? And instead of folding over like this, you're gonna keep your spine nice and straight, sit up nice and tall, and just fold over like this. Don't hunch over, just fold over like this. And you're gonna feel it right away, okay? Mine is nice and tight, so I only get about this far. Make sure you're breathing during these stretches, okay? You're gonna hold each one for about 20 to 30 seconds per side, all right? Okay, next up is an amazing mobility exercise for your thoracic spine. Having mobility in that part of your spine is so important for the big lifts like the squat, the deadlift, the overhead press, and your pull-ups. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna lay down on our side, okay? Stack your knees and stack your shoulders, okay? You're gonna take the top arm and you're gonna reach all the way past your fingertips of the bottom hand. Go ahead and rest your head. And with your shoulder blades on your left side, if you're laying on your left side, glued to the ground, you're gonna trace your arm with your top hand, trace all the way across your chest, and then glue your right shoulder blade down to the ground as you extend that top arm all the way out, including your gaze, okay? So my knees are pointing this way, my gaze and my hands are pointing, and my hand are pointing this way, and then trace it all the way back and reach as far as you can beyond those fingertips. And you're gonna do it on both sides, okay, over and over about 15 times per side for that mobility. Okay, we're halfway through the stretches. I saved one of my favorite stretches for right in the center. They're called frog rocks. And this is an amazing but very powerful hip opener. Okay, so from your hands and your knees, you're gonna open your knees like this. Okay, come down to your forearms nice and carefully. Open your feet so that the insides of your feet are flat on the ground. And from here, okay, you're just gonna go back and forth like this, okay? And the more you can open your knees and open your hips, the better, okay? So get into it very slowly, okay? Feel this out. Make sure you don't get injured or go too far too fast, okay? Once you find a nice little sweet spot, you can leave your forearms right here and just rock back and forward. And what you want to pay attention to during this mobility stretch is where you're tight. And if you have any instabilities from right to left, maybe your right hip is tighter than your left hip when you're in the backward position, maybe your left hip is a little tighter when you're in the forward position. You're gonna learn a lot about your hips in this position, but you wanna just do this. You don't have to count the rocks, but just move forward and backward for about 30 seconds. Now, what I want you guys to really focus on is when you're done, make sure you come out of it very carefully. That's a very deep hip opener, and you wanna make sure you take care of your body and don't just jump out of that position. All right, let's go. All right, next up, you guys, is a yoga squat. Now, this one is a very awesome, but very deep and intense hip opener, okay? I'm gonna also show you a little trick at the end to be able to work on your ankle mobility during it. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna start in a forward fold position, okay? You can bend your knees as much as you need to grab underneath your toes. My distance between my feet is about shoulder width here with my toes slightly pointed out. Okay, once you have that grip underneath your toes, then you're just going to sit down, okay? What you're gonna do during this is you're gonna actively push your knees out with your elbows, okay? You can put your hands like this or like this, whatever's easier for you. But your entire foot, including your heel, is glued to the ground, okay? As you keep your chest lifted, your spine straight, and your tailbone pointed to the ground while you push your knees out with your elbows, okay? So this is gonna be an amazing hip opener for you guys. Now, if you wanna work on your ankle mobility during it, you can kind of get that rock back and forth like this, okay? Now, if you can lean all the way over to the right and keep that right heel glued to the ground, then you've got really awesome ankle mobility there. Now, if you see, if I go to the left, I don't have great ankle mobility on my left, so when I rock over to the left, I can't get my heel to stick to the ground, so I need to do some work there. So you guys being in this position like this and rocking back and forth and working on that hip mobility and that ankle mobility, doing the yoga squat and the right and left rock like this is an awesome stretch in prep for leg day. You're gonna hold this stretch for about 30 seconds, okay? And then again, like the frog squat, you wanna come out of it very slowly and carefully. Let's go. Is a seated forward fold, okay? So all you need is your awesome bod, and then I also have a band here. You can use a towel or a yoga strap or anything you've got lying around. So what I like to do here is kind of walk my butt cheeks out of the way, pretty much, so that you're truly sitting on your hip bones, okay? And then my toes are pointed up to the sky, all right? And my feet are flat. Okay, so I'm not just sloppy like this, okay? My quads are activated, okay? And what I want you to do is to be able to grab onto your toes. So if your hamstrings are too tight for that, then that's where this will come in really handy, because you can wrap it around the bottom of the soles of your feet and really work on the stretch from here. But the point of doing this is not just so that you're just going through the motions and stretching your hamstrings. I want you guys to keep a straight spine, keep your chest lifted, and as you grab onto your toes or your towel, whatever you have, having this grab down here will make it so that you keep the soles of your feet flat, okay? That's gonna make it so that you get a stretch from the ankles to the calves, to the glutes, hamstrings, lower back, everything. Like almost your entire posterior chain is involved here, okay? And we get that done by having a towel or just holding on if you can reach and really actively stretching, but keeping those soles of the feet flat is key here, okay? And not collapsing down this way. So take a big breath in, grab the toes or grab your towel, and as you breathe out, imagine your nose going forward, okay? Not you bending down like this, okay? So keeping your spine nice and straight. Every time you breathe in, your spine gets a little straighter, breathe out, nose goes forward more, and you're gonna hold that, okay? If you have your towel here, it'll look like this, all right? And you're gonna feel that, it's really, really deep. You're gonna hold it for about 30 seconds, all right? Let's do it. Okay, our next stretch is again for the hamstrings, okay? So you're gonna start in a kneeling position like this, and you're just gonna throw one leg out there, keep the sole of the foot flat, and all you're gonna do is, with this leg straight, okay, you're gonna put both hands on either side of you as your toes stay pointed straight up, and just try to fold over that one leg. So it's almost like a single leg seated forward fold, but we're just working on that one leg at a time. Okay, don't let your foot get sloppy here. Make sure it's nice and flat on the bottom and the toes are pointed straight up, okay? Don't get rotated here. Knees are aligned, hips are aligned. Every inhale, the spine gets longer. Every exhale, your nose goes forward more, okay? Making sure you're aware of your foot placement. Okay, you've got 20 to 30 seconds on one side and 20 to 30 seconds on the other side. Okay, next up, this is an amazing stretch for your hip flexor, for your quad, and for your entire side body. All you need is a bench, and if you are on a hard surface, make sure you find like a nice pillow or a towel or a pad like this for your knee, okay? You are going to put one foot, top of your foot, on the bench as you come down like this, okay? So what I want you guys to notice is that my upper leg, my thigh, okay, is perfectly perpendicular to the ground. All right, so I'm not leaning forward, I'm not bending back. Okay, I've got a perfectly straight or vertical quad. Okay, and from here, chest is lifted, bicep right next to the ear. Okay, and you can hold it right here if you want, or you can practice bending away, all right, away from that stretching leg, keeping your shoulders and your hips squared forward. So don't rotate inward like this or outward like this, just nice and squared up, holding here for 20 to 30 seconds per side. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you so much for following along with these stretches. Make sure you guys really apply these to your lifting days. It'll help so much. I know it's helped me tremendously on my big lifts and just taking care of my body. So if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you always get notified on your device of badass content like this from me. Check out jessiefitness.com for all that I have to offer. I'll see you guys next time.